It's time to talk retail therapy. Some people treat retail therapy as a joke, but it actually is a really serious problem keeping so many people broke, maybe even you. And so retail therapy is spending money to cope with whatever discomfort, stress, sadness that you're probably experiencing. And in this video, we're having an open and honest conversation about retail therapy and what we might be masking as a result. And so if you're new here, my name is Teddy. I'm a financial coach, but I'm also a social worker. And so I have some idea of what our environment, our stressors, all these, our history, our triggers play into our behaviors and addictions that form as a result. And as part of my financial coaching practice, I help you take control of your money to be your best self at home and at work. And that means controlling your spending. And so this is going to be probably a longer, more conversational video on what retail therapy is and why we actually do it. And so buckle up. If you're a podcast listener, this will probably be great for a drive, or if you just want to play this in the background, that's cool too. But when we're talking about retail therapy, we need to understand what it is. I can pull up a definition and make it all tactical like that, but really retail therapy is spending or shopping online in person to cope with some kind of discomfort. And a lot of times that discomfort is stress, it could be anger, and this can come from a lot of different areas. So if you've ever joked about using retail therapy, I want you to think about this. Go back to a time when you thought, oh, I just need some retail therapy. What was the instance that triggered that? Maybe you were joking with a coworker about how you don't get paid enough, and that kind of stressed you out because you have some job dissatisfaction. Or maybe your boss is yelling at you again and you're just feeling kind of worthless, and so you want to spend. Maybe you are just thinking about personal finance struggles and you're seeing the bank account and you're like, I just need something to distract myself. So open up the Target app, you open up Amazon and start scrolling outfits, scrolling phone gadgets, scrolling the newest trends, all this stuff. When you really dig down deep, there's something else there that's causing that trigger. A lot of times it is self-worth issues. A lot of times it's just stress. You need some momentary relief or distraction from that. And so retail therapy is actually not that different from other addictions, whether it's food, porn, work, alcohol, cigarettes. It's just another form of coping that isn't always healthy. And so in the clinical space or whatever, they call it maladaptive coping, but really just think about it as non-productive coping skills where it feels like you're getting better. It feels like you're treating the stress, but in reality, you're just masking the symptoms. And I can say this confidently because I struggle with it just as much as anyone else. I am tempted whenever something comes up on TikTok Shop, I want to buy it. And usually I'm opening up TikTok because I'm bored. I don't want to deal with work. I want to procrastinate, and whatever it is, I'm avoiding something. And think about maybe you're avoiding something too. A good first step whenever you're trying to identify some of these triggers and emotions is just think about the action that occurred in the past when you bought something and then felt guilty afterwards. Think about what led up to that decision. What emotion were you feeling? And if you need help with that, I have some resources on lists of emotions, spending inventories, and all that stuff, and we'll talk about that. But retail therapy is just a mask for other things that are going on. If you really, really want to dig deep, sometimes it even has ties to how you grew up. Maybe the comments that your parents would say to you, or getting bullied in school, or maybe just feeling alone, and retail therapy being that comfort. Buying things, stuffed animals, buying phones and gadgets to raise your self-esteem or whatever it is. These things had a function. They absolutely did. But at some point, it started to become almost like a pacifier that you go to. And at some point, you need to grow out of it and mature and be healthy because you deserve to be healthy. If you view retail therapy through the lens of addiction, you can address it in the same way. And a lot of people don't like the word addiction because it has a connotation to the person on the side of the road asking for money and scratching his neck, or the person that's stuck in the casino and is not going anywhere for days at a time and smelly, or maybe the video game addict that has a bunch of bag of chips on the table and just energy drinks and all this stuff. But addictions are real. And even if you're not clinically diagnosed with an addiction, there are a lot of behaviors such as retail therapy that have addictive components to it. And really the premise of all these addictions and maladaptive coping skills is that there is a legitimate benefit that you're getting from turning towards these things. The momentary relief is a benefit. But when you're looking at the big picture, it really isn't benefiting your overall well-being, and especially not your bank account. So that is so important. And a lot of the people I talk to when it comes to retail therapy, their weaknesses are the apps. So you're seeing something pop up on Instagram from your favorite influencer or whatever, or you're pulling up the Amazon app just to see what's trending, see what the lightning deals are. Or maybe you want to take a shopping spree to a mall, walk around, kind of get the thrill and excitement of being in the store and trying clothes on and all of that stuff. Not to say it's bad or anything, but you have to be wary of what your triggers are, what you're susceptible to. If you're always in an environment that you're turning to those things and not actually addressing the problem, habitual use of buying things will show itself in your bank account for sure. But also you're going to probably have a bunch of clutter in your house that is almost like a representation of your brain, representation of the clutter that's in here. So sometimes simplifying it, trimming the fat, trimming all the extra stuff that you don't need will actually give you a lot of peace. So how do you even address retail therapy and overspending because of this? And so lucky for you, I actually have a free course on this. You don't have to pay for it, none of that. I actually made this course as a paid product, but I saw such a need that people wanted to get a better understanding of why they're spending that I'm just giving it for free. Like, it doesn't cost me anything to give it to you. Yeah, I don't make money or whatever, but if this can help change your life, I want that for you. And if you need help personalizing it, you can always reach out to me for one-on-one coaching. That is a thing that funds these videos and the free resources I'm able to give to a lot of people. And so back to what the actual course content covers, it talks about the why behind your spending. It actually walks you through a workbook so you can journal, write down, engage with the material. So you're not just watching this video and then moving on to the next one and then moving on to the next one, then going back to life and forgetting you even listened to this. This course will actually walk you through the steps of the belief work it takes to make changes with your money, the marketing psychology that companies use that keep you spending more, but the most important part, and the part that you're probably wondering most about because you're watching this video, is what I call the spending inventory. And what that is, it actually walks you through step by step what the spending behavior was and tracing that back to what the trigger was and helping you conceptualize and visualize that process so that you can make changes and are you aware for the future whenever you're feeling susceptible to spending more. Now, I can go into all the stuff in this video, but that's what the course is for. I want you to go through it, engage with it so that you actually have life change and you're not just soaking the information in and not actually doing stuff with it. And so if you want access to that course, it's linked down in the description. It's just on my website. It's free. You don't even need card information. Yeah, you have to use your email address or whatever. But the cool thing is that you can actually go back to the course and pick up where you left off. So that's a really cool benefit. And if you have any questions, you have my contact information. It's all on my website and check it out there. But the last part of that course is to have successful money principles moving forward after you gain that overspending insight. And so a lot of principles that I have in that course are based in what I've seen in addiction recovery programs that actually keep people successful. One of the things that I've heard when it comes to addiction, and this is so important for any type of behavior change, is that your environment plays such a big impact on your life and on your behaviors. One of the analogies, I have to probably fact check this because I don't know the statistics exactly, But during the Vietnam War, a lot of soldiers went overseas and they did heroin. And so there was this huge fear that they would come back and just have this horrible heroin addiction crisis in the US. But what they actually saw is that that didn't really occur, or at least occur at the scale that they thought. And what's interesting is that when it comes to inpatient rehabs and stuff here in the States, those who are successful but return to their same environment have a pretty high relapse rate. What that shows is that your environment plays such a big impact on your behaviors. And you could probably attest to this too. Your environment is not just your physical place, your house, your city that you live in, but the relationships that you have, the 5 people that are closest to you, what they talk about, what they speak about, how they treat you, how they treat life. That's part of your environment. Your work is part of your environment. The work you're doing, the purpose you're giving to the marketplace, your coworkers, your management, the support there. Other environment includes your phone, the apps that you have on your phone, the people you message, the influencers you follow. And then also your physical environments of the places you frequent. So if you're going to shop, if you're going to Target on a weekend because you have time and you want to have some fun, you have to be careful because that historically might have been a place that you spent extra money. So maybe you got to switch that up. If you want to buy clothes, have a fun time at the thrift store. Or if you want to have a fun outing, go to a farmer's market, go to somewhere that you can actually have a little bit more experience, something new, something different. But yeah, retail therapy is absolutely an issue that we don't talk enough about because it's normalized. And just like a lot of other addictions that are normalized, it doesn't make it any less addictive, any less of a problem. So just because a lot of people are susceptible to it, just because a lot of people joke about it, doesn't mean it's not serious. And so if you feel like overspending on things to cope is something you're dealing with, reach out to me. Part of my one-to-one coaching program is focused on that, focusing on the spending behavior so that you can actually save money and pay off debt and build wealth for the future. So if you have any questions, go ahead and send me a DM. My contact information and my socials are in the description. Or if you're already ready to book a consultation, the link's in there too. So I hope this video gave you some value and some mental shift in the things that you're spending on and things that you're coping with. And as always, don't let your money take control of you. Take control of your money so you can be your best self at home and at work. Thank you for watching to the end of the video. I hope you got a nugget of information or a breakthrough that'll help you on your journey. And if you want more content like this, go ahead and click over here for more videos or over here to subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next one.